some of the stuff we're going to go over today is going to be focused on kind of the news that's going around with there's an ASIC apparently available for purchase to mine Layer 2 Rev 2, which is our algorithm, as well as a few other coins use that algorithm. And then we're just going to kind of go down the developer update and kind of expand upon those points. And then we have some breaking news with regards to Shapeshift, which I'll save for the end of the show today. But let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing that you'll see whenever you get into the developer update for September is we were talking about the ASIC that's in the room. So let me pull up here the Lara 2 Rev 2 ASIC miner that Dayan, I think it's how you pronounce the name of the company that created this. Apparently this is, people are starting to receive this. And this is kind of one of the reasons why we are pushing Verthash and pushing the development of that up and the R&D up as far as priority goes. But James, do you want to kind of just touch on, I know you've had debates in the past with other people who have accepted ASICs as part of their mining system for their projects. Do you want to just kind of touch on why we are anti or ASIC resistant and why this is a reason for us to push even harder for Verthash to be developed as soon as possible?
The fact that they're supposedly selling these ASICs now implies to me that there are perhaps maybe one or two additional generations in the world that we don't know about, and thus they are now selling their previous stock of hardware.
Yeah.
That's typically how this works. I mean, we're not privy to what private hardware they have by the very nature of the fact that it's private, and until the last couple of weeks, we didn't even know that this ASIC existed. And to be fair, I've never actually seen one in the flesh. I've only seen forum posts and videos on YouTube. So it could quite easily be not real until someone I know and trust actually has one in their hand. I'm still quite skeptical. But, we're ASIC resistant because ultimately it's unfair if people don't have access to the same level of hardware as everyone else. If there's not a level playing field for the ability to mine, then to me that defeats the purpose of cryptocurrency, which is to have a distributed financial system. That financial system, the power within it, and the rewards from it become concentrated into the hands of a small group of individuals, then we haven't really improved upon the banking system that we're intending to replace.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with the fact that these are not readily available. You have to pay a high premium, and they're kind of gatekeepers. And plus, we don't know, this is not necessarily open source, so you don't know what backdoors or anything like that are associated with these ASICs. So you're kind of trusting the manufacturer that they're going to be honest brokers in selling you this hardware. And then hoping that the profitability stays where it is now. But just like James was saying, normally the way these ASIC companies do this is that they will sell to the general public their last generation or 2-generation old ASICs in order to offload those for profit to be able to put into R&D for even the newest generation ASIC. So you're always kind of behind the wheel, and it's just not fair to the individual user who just wants to get a GPU for their gaming rig or for their regular computer and be able to contribute to the consensus of a cryptocurrency like Vertcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So that's one of the main reasons why we are ASIC resistant. So here you can see this is, there's been some YouTube videos of people unpacking these and stuff, but like James was saying, we don't have any trusted individuals that we trust basically that has gotten one of these. So still, from our point of view, everything is, I'd say marketing. You're getting the imagery, you're getting some videos of it, but we haven't seen it really perform from a trusted source yet. And we haven't seen the hash power on at least Vertcoin go through the roof either, indicating that a ton of these are on the network, right?
Yeah, the hash rate has barely moved at all, which doesn't imply a sudden mass increase in ASIC presence on the network. I mean, if you compare it to Sirecoin, when the Bitmain ASICs for that came out, you'll see that the hash rate there increased fairly quickly over a short period of time. But that hasn't happened here yet. So I don't know if that's just because the particular ASIC was a very small batch, or if, as I alluded to, they're just selling off batches of hardware that were already mining on the network,
Mm.
or if it doesn't actually exist in the way that it's said to.
Yeah,
Um,
and they look to
it's not clear yet.
advertise Monacoin and Verge as well. So there could be a likelihood that these are actually hitting those other currencies and not the Vertcoin network.
Hmm.
And that may be why we're not seeing the uptick in hash power over the whole network. However, that's still, that level of comfort of the fact the hash power hasn't gone up is no reason for us to deter any advancements on Vert hash and getting that out, pretty much making this ASIC paperweight, unless the other
Yeah, I
projects
mean,
follow
the
suit.
marginal rate of profitability has been decreasing for quite some time. And it's sort of reaching sort of the lower asymptote now. So I'm not sure how much lower it will drop from this point unless there is a market change in the hardware that mines on the network. Um, but we were working on VertHash anyway for other reasons beyond ASICs. It just so happens that if this ASIC turns out to be real, then we're in a convenient position.